Nowadays, we just raise hand. Okay, we choose. Sometimes I still remember when they choose me as a president, they don't even vote. They said, okay, this one, you know. So this time, we make it very transparent. We have Kahoot. Thanks to my team, thanks to Bat, thanks to Zol, and also Bismi for giving us old chaps a new a new experience. Because going into Kahoot also takes about 1 hour, I still remember, to register alone, not to vote. So on that note, it is a very great pleasure that I extend my congratulations to Associate Professor Dr. Montira from PSU for being appointed as our new RENPER President for the term 2024-2026. And I have full confidence in her abilities, and I believe that under her leadership, RENPER will continue to thrive, organizing more impactful activities and garnering support from all our members. So I hope that we, the council members, and I also would like to open, maybe RENPER is a very old established, so the young one like Dr. Hashia, we have a few more up there, the new deans. So you are welcome also to be council members, to be at least a member, then eventually become a council member. And of course, we are looking for the young one to be a president and vice president and so on. Because we are going to go away, not go away to the ground yet, not ready, but go away from this hectic world of academics, and we're going to pass this baton to the young one. So this afternoon, we are privileged to have two distinguished speakers, Prof. Dr. Retno from the University of Bengkulu, Indonesia, and Prof. Rao from Reva University, India. So even though Dr. Retno not able to be with us physically, but with the technology, with the digital link whatsoever, we can still listen to her talk today. So after Dr. Rao, we will going online and be able to be with Prof. Retno. Okay, I think before I conclude my speech, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Secretariat. I know that it's a very last minute because I thought that it's already 2024 and the new election has not yet coming. So I'm not going to be illegal president, So in order to make it legal, we have to have a new appointment. In fact, I try to do it online. I give them Google form and everything for them to fill in and elect, but nobody responds to it. So I said, hey, look, we have to make sure that we do it like a normal way of voting. So thank you, Bismi, Bat, maybe people know her as Putri. Okay, so Putri, Badrul, Zul, which is from my office, and of course not to forget from the international office, Dr. Nurul as well. And where's your pengarah? Have another meeting. Oh, Jakarta. So thank you, international office. And actually today's work is a collaborative effort between international office and Centers for Academic Excellence, which is under Dr. Najmi. So thank you. And also not to forget INSPEC. I guess tomorrow visit to our social innovation projects for poverty eradication will be led by INSPEC. So thank you so much, everyone. So in closing, let us recommit ourselves to the noble cause of poverty eradication. Together as members of RENPER, we have the power to make a real and lasting impact. And thank you. And may our collaborative efforts continue to inspire positive change in the region and beyond. So I think probably after this, we can plan for the action plan on how can we work together on research, on academics, and any other efforts that relates to poverty eradication. With that, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dato, for those inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is now time to begin the first segment of our international lecture series. Our first speaker is Professor Wisweswara Rao. Please allow me to introduce our first speaker for today. Professor Rao is a full professor in the Department of Biotechnology at Reva University, India. He also serves as the Associate Dean of the School of Applied and Allied Health Sciences and also the Director of International Relations and Research Collaborations at Reva University. With a background in non-communicable diseases research, Professor Rao has held leadership roles at various universities, including heading the Internationalization Center at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, University Malaysia Sabah. He has received numerous awards for his contributions to the field and has delivered keynote and plenary talks at international conferences. Today, he will be sharing his lecture on the topic Poverty of the Nation Towards International Standards. Please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Rao.
A very good afternoon to my mentor and whatnot, Dato Ibrahim Che Omar, TNCA, Dato Nick, and the Dean CPS, Professor Balakrishnan, my good friend Dr. Najmi, and International Representative for India, Dr. Arifullah, my good friends from Vietnam and Philippines, and all respected participants here. Let me just give you a gist about poverty, whatever I have learned from Dato Ib, whatever poverty and whatever I'm just explaining you, everything I have learned from Dato Ib and his journeys. And last time I was a director under his department. So I've just given the title like Poverty of the Nations and How to Internationalization. However, I'll be covering few of the slides. Few of the slides about poverty, and then I'll try to. I understood that the audience are mixed group, so you can understand how collaborations give nourishment for your careers. So probably this will be an apt topic for today's session. And then let me start with that. First of all, I would like to thank whole RENPER Council and also the management of UMK for giving me this opportunity to deliver talk of RENPER International Lecture Series. Okay, as even just now, Prof. Nick Maheran also mentioned about we are emphasizing on the very first Sustainable Development Goals. As if I want to inform you about Reva University also, we are trying to implement all the SDGs in our campus, mainly into quality education and various SDGs we are following at different levels of the university. And coming to this poverty and poverty eradication, I really don't know whether we are, talking about poverty eradication or poverty reduction. If poverty eradication, we have to sweep the poverty from the nations and from the internations. But to reduce the poverty, we certainly have to join hands together, and then we try to do something to reduce the poverty. And again, this morning that I was mentioning, and lots of deliberations were happening since past 10 years. So as I was also attending various meetings and conferences along with the team, we went to Bangladesh and other places, India, Philippines. So 3-4 conferences we were together, and then there were lots of definitions. And even this morning that Ayub was mentioning about another definition. It's not about clean swiping, it's about how we can do justice to the people who are in the poverty. And again, there are several definitions for the countries. Even for Malaysia, we have several definitions of poverty. And anyways, I have some slides of different definitions. So on every October 17th, it has been observed as International Day for Eradication of Poverty, where multiple countries or majority of the international, all the countries across the globe, they usually emphasizes that poverty is a violation of human rights and calls for measures to end it worldwide. So it is not about a person, it is not about an organization, or it is not about a group of people who want to set the goals to eradicate the poverty. It's about everybody. Say for example, about 50 people are attending this particular session. It's all of our responsibility to try to work for poverty eradication. It's not that we go into the public and then we try to help poor every day, but you can help. Say for example, we will be giving some money to some charities who really do well for, especially for poor people, or to give some sort of help to the poor people. And these two poverties I would like to emphasize here. Even this morning we were discussing about various factors. Majorly food, water, shelter and clothing. These are the basic needs. Where these particular things are not being available to the people, we consider them as poor. And below the economic line, the poverty how we define was based on these factors. And if we are in extreme poverty, do we have all the needs and requirements what is required for the daily life? In one of the articles I was referring before I was preparing this presentation, 23 rupees, which is about 1.5 ringgit, is the basic requirement for a human being to live in India. Since I represent India, and this morning we had lots of deliberations about poverty as well. So there are lots of factors which are affecting poverty, and you can clearly see the poverty in various countries, even including in India. Even it is a big country, but still you can clearly visible, it is very, very much visible that poverty is existing in that country. Even the other day we went to Bangladesh, we went to Philippines along with the RENPER team. So we could clearly see that, okay, poverty exists in that country. So to that, what exactly we have to do? What factors influencing them to be in poverty, and what are the factors we can take them forward to help them to reduce the poverty, at least to have their lives to be better in certain aspects at least. Either it can be food, or it can be clothing, or it can be in housing. Because sometimes we also try to be so philanthropic. Even our university, we try to adapt villages. Let me give you an example. We try to adapt villages. Sometimes we try to adapt schools, government schools, public schools, where their facilities will be very, very minimal, especially the toilets, especially the classrooms, even the buildings, the environment, the circumferences of the university, the school. So where the group of lecturers, group of teachers go there and try to identify the problem, and in next month they try to go with the facilities whatever are required for that school. And sometimes we build new buildings also for the schools. So this is one particular example. And sometimes we identify a village of high poverty range. Then we try to identify the group of people and their particular profession, what they are doing, why they are struggling into the poor. So these kind of aspects or these kind of initiations we take to at least help to reduce the poverty in the town or city. If we eradicate or if we reduce the poverty in that particular city, then we can try to do it in that particular panchayat. Then we can go into the state, district, state, then country. So it's a big long chain. When we have to start it from our own houses. Yeah, well, these are the few examples of definitions which I have taken from various sources. So This is what I was mentioning. About 27 rupees is the per capita per day in rural areas and 33 in urban areas. Even this morning, the Tayyib, I remember the Tayyib was mentioning about urban poverty. So the second thing, which is 33 rupees, which is about, it is not even 2 ringgits. It's about 1.8, 1.9 ringgits is per capita per day per person in urban areas, which enabling them to have a calorie intake of 2,400 in rural areas and 2,100 in urban areas. Because in rural areas, people tend to walk a lot, tend to do lots of hard work in the fields. So that's why the calorie intake is given as 2,400, and then in urban areas 2,100 calories is given, and along with some other basic factors they have mentioned like fuel, clothing, and etc. So this is given by Rangarajan Committee. Rangarajan Committee is the very high level committee of Indian system, where they usually try to give lots of policies in olden days. And Townsend 1979, they have given another example or another definition is lacking of resources to obtain the types of diet, participate in the activities, and have the living conditions. That is what I was mentioning, in my very first slide, that various factors affect this way of lifestyle, and also various factors affect to leave them or to push them into the poverty. So another example by Marshall Salins in Stone Age Economics. So they have also mentioned it's not a certain small amount of goods, nor is it a relation between means and ends. Above all, it is a relation between the people. Of course, it's not about pitying them. It's not about showing empathy on them. It's about taking the responsibility of every human individual to act on it. That is what majority of the times people who are into philanthropic, or majority of the times the NGOs, the ethical NGOs and the ethical philanthropists I'm talking about, they usually do the justifications, or they usually do helps without expecting anything from the people where they are helping. So that's how it should be. And Amartya Sen is one of the great researcher, and then he has given this particular definition: deprivation of ability to live as a free and dignified human being with the full potential to achieve one's desired goals. Because I think I strongly remember that one of my slides I have given that when you are struggling in poverty, you will lose self-confidence. You will also understand that you are so weak, you do not have any potential to do anything. But still, there are so many examples where people have come from poverty background and then they have achieved very, very heights in their life, but the percentage is very less. And this is one example. I felt that majority of us might have seen this picture at different platforms, but now I thought that this equality and equity would be an apt example for poverty eradication or poverty reduction. It's not about the help you do is just for T20 or whatever we were discussing last night, and MM region and also B40. So it's not that you are giving the same amount of money or same amount of help to everybody, which doesn't serve the purpose. So it has to go with the equity. Equality, where you are giving, you are just seeing everyone or giving or offering your help to everyone in the same manner. However, the poverty people need more help, like what I have shown in this last, so that everybody can see the match. So on the field you can see that cricket match, and then here in the equality, if you give 3 different chairs to or whatever you give them, they cannot see, because there if you take the parameter of the height is different. And same we can implement into poverty. If you help to this person, the tall guy, which may not be helpful for him, if you give to the last person like equity, then it will be helpful for the poor. So this is what I just wanted to relate, where equality at times is important, but majority of the times when we are dealing with poverty and other related areas, equity is most important. Yeah, this is the points for that, because equality of opportunity is real and actual, and Equity is fair but different treatment to reduce inequality of outcomes. Majority of the times we talk about inequalities in every system. In every system, let it be industry, academics, research. So we always complain about inequalities. Sometimes when we get grants, if I apply for 100,000, if I get around 40,000, then I will always feel that no, I did not receive. Probably I got, such kind of dissatisfaction always exists, and then we always feel that people are treating us in an unequal manner. So this was the important point which I was mentioning just now. Psychology of the poor is always lack of confidence, self-belief and self-esteem. They also feel that they are shameful. They cannot come in front of the people, or they cannot talk. If they know the truth also, they cannot talk freely. And non-participation, inferiority. Inferiority is another biggest thing which usually we observe in poor people. Especially in Indian context, if I wanted to talk, certainly the people who are at the below poverty line, their lifestyle is different, and their the people treat them is in a different way, completely in a different way. So that the first thing is you dominate on them, so that they themselves from the birth time, from childhood, they feel that okay, our life is like this, so we cannot talk one word also beyond this. So that's the mindset. We are setting up their minds in that level, so that they will not talk much, and they will only do what we say. So that's how it is. That's the we create the inferiority complex in them, so that they will just follow what the higher people say, or the people who are beyond them say. And resignation to fate and alienation. So these are few important aspects. I think just now the team from Thailand, PSU, they were mentioning about they have got 700 million funding, and then they were mentioning about all these points. They talk about nutrition, child mortality, years of schooling, school attendance, cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing and assets. These are all various aspects which we really observe in the human lives at different parts of Indian system, where nutrition and malnutrition are two issues where we usually observe in poor people. And child mortality, yes, of course, when they are malnutrition and then they don't get the the nutritious food what is required for the body, then certainly they tend to get diseases, and then finally the mortality occurs. And years of schooling, because of the affordability, the kids of the poor people cannot go to schooling, cannot go to school, and then they cannot continue with their schooling, and finally ending up with n number of unprofessional things and unethical things. Then school attendance, of course, the same, it is relative to years of schooling. Cooking fuel, yes, this is another important which I can relate to the nutrition, where the oil which they use would be different, and then the nutrition of that particular food also will be different. Sanitations, drinking water, electricity, housing and assets, because they will not be accessible to all these things. Sanitation, usually poor people lives in a place where very minimal sanitation exists. So because I did not show any pictures, so this is about the poverty and then the other living standards. But three main dimensions of poverty is health, education and living standards. Yes, this is another source which explains very clearly about the previous slide, which are completely into SDGs, where they have clearly identified the factors. You can see health, nutrition and other areas here, and the weightage they have given, and then SDG area where they are coming with these particular factors. Nutrition, it is under SDG 2, zero hunger, but now it's moved to number 1, poverty and zero hunger, child mortality, years of schooling, attendance, drinking water, electricity, housing and assets. So this is what I have clearly mentioned in my previous slides also. And understanding the poverty, basically when we understand the poverty in a realistic manner, it's do not reduce the poverty to abstract concepts and mere numbers. As I started my lecture with whether we are going to eradicate poverty or whether we are trying to reduce the poverty. Even when you have the concept of reducing the poverty, it's not about merely numbers that we do this and that. But the poor as humans with as much as potential as the other groups. So you have to go with empathetic and you have to go with a responsible manner how you can try to treat the people at uttermost poverty. And understand poverty with the heart, feel poverty with the mind. This is what harmonizes using the soul. Usually when you go with that clear-cut mindset, ethical, helping nature, then certainly we can definitely try to reduce poverty in not only one nation and multinational arena. And coming to quality education, just now I just was mentioning about poverty. Now I want to correlate with quality education. From now onwards, I talk to this group how you can collaborate with the people, how these collaborations help you in futures. So quality education is always vital for the development and economic prosperity of any nation. Once Nelson Mandela mentioned, if you want to destroy the nation, don't educate the nation, which means education is the most important and most sharp weapon for any country to achieve any goal. So if we don't send the kids to school, that's the demolishing of any nation. So that is what even the main leaders of various countries have mentioned, including even Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela. So he has even clearly mentioned that destroying of the nation prepares people to embrace and adapt the change, but also to manage and influence it. If we have to provide the if we want to relate this slide to the previous slide, where the schooling and education to the kids of poverty or poor generation, then this quality education is highly related to that. If you are in a position to give good education, then quality education will be there. When you give quality education, they become good citizens of the nation. Then once they are good citizens, they do good for the nation and also other countries. And we always see that, as I have mentioned in previous slides also that we should take it as a human right. We should take it as a responsibility. A small help for good NGOs or good ethically doing agencies. If we donate even 10 ringgit, 5 ringgit, 1 ringgit also, it may be food for somebody who is striving to get at least minimum things in life. Yeah. So this collaborative research, I just would like to give you some gist of, I was thinking that there are lots of young faculty members come for this particular gathering. Then I thought they will be from different areas of research. I just would like to give you this particular collaborative research practices in modern era, mainly short-term and long-term collaborations. Let me give you an example about this particular thing. For about 6.5 years, I was working with UMK from somewhere in 2012-13 to 19. Then we have lots of collaborations with people. Even now also it's continuing. Recently also we have got a European grant about 5 million Malaysian ringgit. So which means it's a short term we have started and then long term we are running. And that is also into Orang Asli projects. So where Orang Asli also, if I want to relate that, they are also in some sort of not very high level income they get. So they are also with minimalistic resources. They are living with very minimalistic resources, and then they are leading the life. Communicate with transparent terms. Whenever we collaborate with people, then you have to be very transparent when you start the collaboration. Even again, I can relate this to the RENPER and poverty. When we are helping to the people, you have to be transparent enough. You have to be very responsible when you are doing the things. And as I told in my previous slide also, we have to feel it as a right. It is not necessary for you to help people, but when you are helping people, you should feel it as your right, and then you should feel it as your responsibility. As simple as that. No rocket science in that. So you doesn't mean that you have to help, certainly. But when you help, it should be definitely with right, with responsibility, with ethics. And yeah, do not give space for any conflict of interest. Certainly when you are working in group, especially in research, there is scope for conflict of interest. But when everybody is transparent, then you can deny this conflict of interest. Information sharing and research, so resources sharing, that should be in a very transparent manner. Sharing patents and publications with proper contributions. Trusting each other for a long-term collaborations. Authorship conflicts. Funding aspects should be very clear. Do not misuse the research facilities for harmful resources, purposes. Multidisciplinary research is a trend. So now, even in RENPER, this morning I wanted to mention in the meeting that actually we were discussing about the journal, but RENPER journal has got high potential to get indexed in Scopus, because when I was in UMS, I started a journal, Borneo Epidemiology Journal. So we have run it for 2 continuous years without missing a single volume, but we used to keep the diversity. RENPER very strong backbone is diversity. We have very good diversity. Let it be Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, India, Bangladesh. So n number of countries we have. If we can try to get the people to contribute at least 1 paper per issue, then we have very diversified countries. So that is one of the aspects for Scopus to be consider our journal to be indexed. So that is one big strong point we have. So in that way, so all topics are important, and all regions are important to eradicate the poverties. So this is another thing. Let us relate this to poverty eradication also. But anyways, the crowd is from different groups. Then this is certainly an important slide for all of you, that anything and everything starts with planning. If you don't plan the things for tomorrow, you cannot execute the things. If you want to do some experiment, or if you want to do some research, or if you want to go to the field, social sciences or sciences, if you want to do the experiment, today you have to understand what exactly you need for tomorrow's experiment. Or if you want to run a business, if anybody from a business background, so if you want to run a business, or if you want to start a business, then you have to understand which area, which part of the locality you should start your business, and what kind of business, whether that is required for that locality, or whether it can cater to the needs and requirements of that locality, etc., etc. Then once you plan, you have to be proactive in anything. When you plan the thing to execute it, you have to be proactive. Just planning and sitting, it will never give you any outcomes. Once you plan things, you have to be proactive until you meticulously execute it to get your expected outcome into reality. Then in academia also same thing, research also same thing. But now, whatever we are talking about, even my title itself says that poverty and internationalization. Now let it be a collaboration between institutions, or collaborations between the human beings, collaboration between the countries, or collaboration between the nations, whatever. So the international collaborations play an important role. Now every country is giving high priority for international collaborations, to have funding, or to have even bilateral or tripartite agreements to execute few things, which something is present in this country, something is present in other country, so that they share the common resources, and they share the different types of resources where both the institutions do not exist those kind of resources. And external collaborations, it's completely come with interest. It doesn't just go, even as I mentioned earlier, if you want to help people, it comes with your own interest. So it is from within. You always understand the things from different perspective. You just don't see the things in a very narrow-minded way. If we observe the things in a broader spectrum, then certainly whatever I was mentioning, that is possible. Short-term plans and long-term plans, internationalization, and hand-in-hand cooperation. For anything to eradicate poverty also, again, let me relate this to eradicate poverty or reduce poverty. It is not, again, I repeat my previous statement, it is not about one person, one family, or one institution. It's about everybody's responsibility that we should take care of it. And we should join hands in hand and we should cooperate each other. Let it be department to department, faculty to faculty, university to university, or country to country. Then only we can try to achieve the goals what we target for. Finally, sustainability. Whenever you do some work, whenever you start something, we all must, I don't know whether we can appreciate the Tayyib or not, but this morning I was literally understanding the meeting in a different way. The Tayyib is from chemistry background. Then I don't know how you thought of poverty eradication, Dato. And it's a completely different set of mindset. And it is a noble thought. And you have started, now it is running for 15 years. So it's literally amazing. So, which means we have sustainability. We have the idea, noble thought is sustainable. However, we are getting it in a very faster way, or whether we are just crawling or walking, running, that's a different story. But again, when we talk about RENPER is still sustainable. The thought process is sustainable. But now the leaders who are taking new jobs and new positions, it's their responsibility to bring it forward to have this sustainable RENPER. So always I felt that even last night also we were having some discussions. Then I thought, okay, this slide must be very apt for this particular session. Thinking we always sit in a comfort zone where, as I have mentioned just now, a researcher or a scientist in chemistry thought of poverty eradication, which is not in his area of research or area of any of the disciplines, but still out of his own interest to change or to contribute something to the society, it was completely thinking out of the box. So we also need to think out of the box all the time, and you should never be sticking to something where you are very much comfortable. Life may be comfortable, but you cannot achieve anything. Trust me, this is true. We can be at comfort zone, however, you cannot reach to the heights if you are just in a comfort zone. Always try to think out of the box, whatever the area you're working. It's not about poverty or helping people, but even still you are in different disciplines. You can always try to think out of the box to achieve or to get better outcomes in your area. Yeah, this is another thing, university industry partnerships, how university industry partnerships can go for. Just now we were discussing about Asian Development Bank. So where this is an industry, banking industry, collaborating with academics. People are going there and then trying to discuss with them, and then final cause will be poverty eradication or helping the poor, or for something, agriculture, food security. Even last time when I was here, we started Institute of Food Security and Sustainable Agriculture. And that time we were understanding food security is not about just providing the food to everybody, but it's about getting the food for every table or every plate with quantifying nutrition. It's not just merely giving the food. Food security is all about the availability of nutritious food to every plate in that particular region. So, in the same manner, we have to we have to understand the interrelations between the industries and the academic group. How academic group can delve into various aspects to help the poor or to help the mankind. And for strategic collaboration, any particular subject or any cause of activity you can do in your lifetime, these are the 7 C's we can follow. Clarity of purpose, why you want to do this noble cause or noble thought, and why this congruency of mission, strategy and values, creation of value, connection with purpose and people, communication between the partners, continual learning and commitment to the partnerships. So these are all 7 C's we should follow in every aspect whatever we start to have the sustainability of that particular proposal. Then we will certainly have this. And this is a very depth example for a particular reason, for particular subjects. And always necessity. From my childhood I learned necessity is the mother of invention. So always, for even researchers, sometimes for even businessmen, necessity. Even there are many leaders who have come up from the poverty. In India we have n number of examples where they did not have even one-time meal a day. Now they have become big businessmen and they have become multi-millionaires. So poverty is not a sin, but living in poverty, dying in poverty is a sin. So we should understand the difference between poverty, born in poverty, living and dying in poverty. There are n number of multiple examples even in India and other countries also, where the people who did not have proper meal a day, they have become now multi-billionaires. Even I think even Reva University, the chairman is also one of the examples. So there are various multinational company owners, CEOs are from that background. Even Sundar Pichai, one day he was mentioning that he did not even have money to fly abroad. Now he is the Google CEO. Sundar Pichai is from India. And even with 1 month salary, his father, bought him shoes. His father was a bus driver. And then he purchased shoes for him. So now he's a CEO of a big company, Google. He is a CEO of Google. And now he has moved to, one of the sister concern companies in Google. So he is a giant in software industry. So there are several examples. You take a number of people who have reached to that stage are from very, very, very lower backgrounds. So that's why always necessity is the mother of invention. And main collaborating areas for anybody is knowledge development and growth, better education and democratic development. The work of universities on communicating research and public education. Majority of the times, even to reach this, last 3 months back I was addressing a group of people in village, where that is actually underprivileged villages, where we have received a fund from MOSTI, Indian MOSTI, to give certain facilities to that particular people, poverty related, because they are underprivileged, so they are completely into certain areas. Then when we ask the parents, why can't you send, there is a school also, government school in that area, why can't you send the kid to the school? Then the parents answered, we both go for work and then the kid has to take care of other children at home. So which means we cannot send him to school, then it is his job to take care of his siblings, which is about 10 years old kid. He has to take care of, which means if he goes to school, they cannot take care of kids. That is what the answer from them. And then again I asked, what about the food? you can manage for the. Then they say morning they prepare some rice, then they will just keep there. They just eat rice with some chutney. That is what has been prepared in the morning. And then they sometimes eat with onion. So that is the food at certain places. Even now, I am talking about 3 months back. So they just pour water in the rice and then add some salt and then eat with just onion. But during those old days, during my childhood, we used to have that as breakfast for a few days, just to have change of dosa, idli and all. But when I was understanding that the scenarios are still same at many different parts of the world. The thing is, we are not very much exposed to those kind of conditions, and then we must be very much thankful to Almighty that we are getting everything to our doorstep. Challenges, anyways, this complete information is all about supporting innovation activities and supporting the good causes of the societies. Whenever you are trying to understand the problem at the deep root level, or the root cause of the disease or root cause of the problem, then only you can try to understand how best you can help, or how best your group can help, or how best your collaborators can help to solve that problem in the society or even in your research. So when you have that particular system, when you have good partnerships, good collaborations, then always you will have best and relevant outcomes from your research or from your collaborative activities. And always role of universities to shape up the future, to shape up the nation, I would say. Educational institutions, it's not about only universities. Educational institutions, starting from bringing the kids to the school, or motivating the villages, especially I'm talking about villages, rural areas, where they have very least facilities or minimal facilities to bring them to the schools. So there, even I see some of the teachers, they go to every house and then they will request the parents to send their kids to the school. Very, very noble teachers, I would say. They are even greater than the Nobel laureates. They even completely spend their lifetime to bring the children to the school. So, and usually industry and academics, when we talk about priority based, what are the industry roles and what are the academia roles? When we understand the industry problems, then certainly academics and academia has got very, very potential. Even in Malaysia, we have PPRN, Public Private Research Network, where the industries have problems, and then the academia professors or the lecturers who go with their solutions and then helping the industries. This is what even is practiced in UMK. Last time I was also one of the consultant for one of the food companies in the KL, in Kuala Lumpur. So they usually pay you something, but anyways in a grant form they give you some good amount, which means it's always based on the needs and requirements. It's again based on the understanding of the problem and giving the clear solution. So perspective of the university is always about giving good research for applications of research for good public good, exposure to industry collaborations, additional source of research funds, build research endowment, reward investigator. So this is what usually any university will do when we talk about research, collaborations and other stuff. And industry usually will have different perspectives, where they always are the great sources of new and innovative ideas and technologies, and they always think the lecturers or the academia is cheaper for them. When they want to hire people, they have to pay high, but when they collaborate with academia, they always try to negotiate for lesser price. So they always feel that we are cheap and then cost effective to support research and to license in technologies. So this is what usually happens. I think the senior researchers are there. I think they might have also experienced the same. And a few more slides we have. But I just wanted to give you just gist of it, of my research, what we have done in UMK. This complete slides, what I have shown, everything is from UMK. So that was the company where I was the consultant from PPRN, that pumpkin spread, Kaya. And this is, again, I have very much relation for poverty eradication. This is a project from INSPEC, where we have come up with this fish, the Pesagaras. So this is near to this, very near to this campus. I forgot the name. So we have produced this particular product, and then now it is in the market from INSPEC. And Dr. Hannan was working with that. And then we were also working on stingless bee honey, where we have even got a few publications on it, and then we have written some book. And again, we were doing lots of social relative activities with this. Then we were giving lots of training about it, Kaluluth. And vinegar, now vinegar is a product of UMK. I think now they are producing rambutan and dokong vinegars. So we were the very early stage researchers those days. Now I think you have this product here in UMK. And this is completely poverty eradication project. And that one is, it's about a grant which is about 5 million we have received from Sabah State. And thanks to all my collaborators, including UMK. I do not know whether I should say it as a collaborator or it's my in-house, imbibed into myself. So these are all the collaborations we have at various levels, and majority of them we have continual research or continual education programs with this. So I think that's all for today. Am I exceeding the time? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause again to Professor Rao for his very valuable sharing. If you have any question, please hold on to your question, because we will proceed with our second speaker. We will only open the floor for Q&A session right after our second speaker slot.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor. You may
Thank you.
be seated, please. Our second speaker for today is Dr. Retno Agustina Eka Putri, the Rector of Universitas Bengkulu, Indonesia, and she is a distinguished expert in development economics and public economics. Throughout her illustrious career, Dr. Eka Putri has held various key positions, including Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business, Department Head of Economics Development, and Coordinator of the Graduate Program in Economics at Universitas Bengkulu, Indonesia. She has also contributed significantly to the field as a regional economist at the Indonesian Ministry of Finance, President of the Indonesian Economists Association Chapter Bengkulu, and a consultant for SMEs at the Central Bank of Indonesia. Despite being unable to join us in person today, Dr. Eka Putri has graciously agreed to deliver her presentation online on transition from college to the workforce, tracer study analysis. Is she already on online? Okay, so we have to wait for about 5 minutes because she's getting ready online. While waiting, perhaps you have any questions for Prof. Rao with regards to his presentation just now? Yes, Prof.
Thank you, Pronik. Dato', Prof. Okay, I have a question now. How far the participation of postgraduate students? Because we are always talking about lecturers, professors. What about postgraduate students, master's and PhD, and international collaboration and so on? Because I see that is a weak point. I mean, the student doing research only the particular countries. They cannot go beyond that. What is your opinion to extend? Because they are PhD students, am I right? PhD and master student. So their level thinking is very high. They can collaborate towards the I mean, when I studied in Australia, I also got grant from the Japan, for ILO. Although I'm PhD student, but why? What is your opinion towards this, so that they can also involve, cross research, and they take own that's what they call initiative to work together. Like you already open up a gate now, am I right? From the need. So how to make this success story? Thanks, bro.
Thank you, Prof, for the wonderful question. Yes, I do agree with your statement. However, now things have changed. Even if I take example as Reva University or UMK, now students are going out of the cocoon. So those days, those olden days are gone. That where the researchers or master students or PhD students, they just stay at one place and then continue with their research. But now at my institute, we are encouraging. I'm also, I don't know, I have shared only few portfolios, but at large it's something like Deputy Vice Chancellor Dato. So we take care of so many things. And then for research also, I have asked my complete research scholars fraternity to at least spend some time in other labs. So it's compulsory for them. And it is very much compulsory for them to publish in Q1. So Q1 publications, not to paid ones. Paid journals we don't accept, and Q1 journals. So if they have to achieve these kind of things, they have to go to other labs where they try to understand the culture of the laboratories of different setup, and they'll also get more exposure to the labs which they do not have. And we are also sending the students abroad for different countries where we have MOUs that the students can be there for 3 to 6 months. Even recently, last month, one of the universities from the US, they have agreed that they can take few number of students for free for 6 months to 1 year. So 1 semester to 2 semesters research they can do there, they can come back. And at the same time, they have also mentioned that certain number of students they will send to us, but they can only be with us for 13 days. So which means the cross-cultural things are happening. And as you rightly mentioned about this question, I also, open this gate for any research scholars present here to come to Reva University. We have, I think, facilities for your needs and requirements. Certainly, we will cater for your needs and requirements if you are willing to come there. Once you touch down Bangalore, then we will take care of other logistics and other things, accommodation and the other things during your stay in our campus.
Thank you, Professor, for the response. It appears that we're still sorting out the technical issue with our partner in Bengkulu. So if we have any other feedback, sharing, or question from the audience, please raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you.
When it comes to India and other countries as well, if I'm not mistaken, there are n number of initiatives taken by government where poverty can be eradicated. If in relation to poverty, or your question is related to poverty? Okay. In India, we have different types of NGOs, even in agriculture sector related agencies, where they get the funds from government agencies and then they try to give to the poor people to do agriculture. This is one thing. Second thing is certain type of NGOs, they get the funding from state and central government, which is federal government, and they try to supply the money, or whatever the needs and requirements they have for food and other things, they supply those kind of things, which means government indirectly or directly supporting for these kind of noble causes. And definitely any country in this world doesn't want their country to be in poverty. So certainly there are several schemes which are encouraging them. Even I have given one bank example, Asian Development Bank, where Dato Nick Mahiran and Prof. Tita have gone to the headquarters in the Philippines, and then they have discussed, which means they have also agreed to support these kind of causes, which means government, private and semi-government agencies are there to support any good causes or any good problems which are definitely need to be answered. They are supporting. I think with my little knowledge I could answer this. Certainly the information is true what I have mentioned, but there are n number of avenues which are definitely supporting to reduce the poverty in the countries.
All right, thank you, Prof. Rao, for the response. I believe we already have Dr. Retno on the line.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Retno, so the time is yours.
Thank you very much. Uh, Honorable Professor Dr. Nick Maheran, President of RENPER, and the previous presenter, Professor T.S. Dr. P. C. Veswara Rao, Director of the International Relation and Research Collaboration, Rewa University, and all of the colleague RENPER chapter around the world who gather in Kelantan. I'm really sorry that I will not able to join the in person in Kelantan. Well, of course, I would like to visit Kelantan, but hopefully the next time I will be able to go there. First of all, let me share the topic for today with bit a bit different. I think a lot of different with the first presenter about the poverty and how we can go from there. I'm going to take a look on the other side that the unemployment, the SDG 8, that decent work that we will also discuss and is also related to the poverty. So let me start to share my screen. Okay. Okay, now it's on. Thank you. I'm going to talk about the transition from college to the workforce, and I'm going to. Sorry? I'm going to take a look on the university level. First of all, that we all understand, we all realize that to gain the economic growth, one of the factors is that the company and the industry, as the production side, are required to be innovative and creative in the competing of the business world. And we all know lately that the pressure of global condition will have an impact on the skill development, which indicate that the university in this matter must be able to make good quality of their student career better. Education is considered to be successful if an institution can educate students effectively and efficiently so that it can produce alumni who can face competition in the real world. UNIP, University of Bengkulu, has issued the program to measure appropriate strategies for students who have graduated from the universities. to understand the university graduate competitive job market and the possible problem on the getting a job. In this study, we are interested in looking more deeply into strategies for university to implement through the survey of the importance of the organization, the internship program, and the student achievement for student success in competing in the world of work. Let's take a look on the unemployment problem in ASEAN, which we discuss here. From the 1916 to the 2020, increased the unemployment rate in the ASEAN, whereas from the 3.9 into 5.4. And in the 2020, some of the country have doubled the unemployment, and for example, in Thailand from 1 to 1.9 or close to 2, and the Philippines from 5.4 to 10.3 in the 2020. So this is one of the problems, because if we talk about the poverty, we also have to take a look on the employment. In this case, the unemployment of the in each of the countries. So we will, in my study, is take a look what happened in the university graduate. If we take a look on the trend, here we can see that of course, during the pandemic is a higher level of unemployment, but then it's going down into the average of the unemployment in each of the country. But it's still also a concern for us to take a look of the unemployment. If we more specifically into Indonesian figure, the figure of the unemployment in the August 2023 from 2020 is declined into 5.3%. And in the October 2023, the figure so is 5.2%. But unfortunately, even though the unemployment rate declined, but there are an increase in the unemployment among university graduates. I'm not sure what happened to the other country. Maybe we should discuss, as we have speak previously, have a meeting previously in the morning, that we should have collaboration in each of the country, and the previous speaker also mentioned that we need to have a better education and also knowledge development for the graduate. Maybe we can work together in working on the unemployment. In this study, now I go to the detail. This is more like technical study into the University of Bengkulu education program and the graduate student who is going to the market job. On the literature review, we have a demand theory, and then university competitiveness or industry competitiveness, organizational experience, student achievement, internship program. The previous presenter also mentioned the importance of the internship program, and also facilities and infrastructure. The research method, I'm using descriptive and then try to elaborate into the SWOT method, and we ask students semester 6, 8, or 10, who is the third year, 4th year, and also the 5th year, and the current graduate. So total is 1,212 students asked in this survey. The first one, we found that on the organizational experience, we asked whether is that important, and the most of the respondents say that it's very important to have the organizational experience during the study, and 29% say that the organization is or are important. So mostly more than half of the respondents think that the organizational experience is important. The second one is on the student achievement. This figure show that the respondent 902 students have achieved all of the student achievement. They measure on that, and is saying that all of the achievement they can get in the non-academic achievement. So what I mean is that non-academic achievement said that by 63.4% is also the thing that is important in the college experience. The third one is on the internship program. The internship program for each study program, we have 8 faculty in the university and 69 study program, and student body is 22,000 students. It said that the program is considered to be very important for all of the respondents. It can be seen in the figure that 64.3 answered that the internship are very important, and only 7% that are unsure about whether the internship program is important. And then we go into the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The first, we identify the internal factor for developing the superior program. We have 3 variable or indicator asked. The first is the importance of the organizational experience. The second one is the importance of the competency training. And the third one is the achievement while studying. And we got the point of 3.76 out of 1 to 5. And the second one is we identify the internal factor for developing the program. Internal factor and the weakness, we found the strength here, the importance of the organizational experience and achievement while studying on the average of 3.81 and 3.98. And the competency of training, so lack of, because this is the weakness, lack of the competency training is at the 3.2, is quite high. The next one is the identification of the external factor on the development of the program. We identify the external factor, a variable and indicator is one, the importance of mastering a foreign language. The second one is the importance of the internship program. And the third one is the job according to the educational background. So the relation of the job and the previous educational background. And this is the highest value is on the important internship program. The fourth one, we identify the internship importance of the internship program and job according to educational background. So this is the the grade that we got for the SWOT analysis. If we combine both internal and external factor, we find that we had the internal factor strategy analysis strategy, or IFAS, is the strength is on the importance of the organizational experience, and the second one is the achievement while studying. So this is the process on the academic process. And the weakness is on the importance of the competency training. The total average from both is 4.7. The next one is we talked about the analysis of both IFAS and AFAS program, internal and external program, on the other side, on the opportunity and threat. So this is the external factor. Previously is the internal factor. The opportunity is on the importance of mastering foreign language, and the second one, the importance of internship program. And the threat is on the job according to the educational background. So the student perceive that the education background and a job that is according or related to education is one of the threat in this experience. We combine both IFAS and AFAS. We find that we have the strategy for dealing with this problem, and we have the strength and opportunity strategy in the first quadrant, and the weakness and opportunity strategy, and strategy and threat, and then weakness and threat. On the strength and opportunity strategy, we have three strategy. The first one is the increased student organization experience as the capital, the need of the student while when undergoing an internship program. The second one is improving college achievement by increasing student foreign language. And the third one, improve college achievement by utilizing internship program. And the weakness and opportunity we have to improve competency training program for students, again, to improve the language skill, and improve competency training program for students so they can apply when undergoing internship program. And the strength and threat, we have two strategies. One is to utilize organizational experience to get a job that suits the educational background. And the second one is to optimize achievement while studying in order to get a job according to the educational background. And lastly, weakness and threat, we have the strategy to improve competency training program that are in accordance with the student study program to get job that match the educational background. Then, based on the SWOT analysis, which can be seen on the metric previously, various strategies is offered. I have mentioned this when I show the table, so I skip this one. And this is how to determine the grand strategy from both the internal factor and the external factor. And if we put it in a graph, okay, wait a minute. If we put it in a graph, we saw that in the University of Bengkulu, we understand we still have a weakness, and but we also have opportunity. So we have to go in the strategy of quadrant. It's called quadrant 1. This is that we need to improve. The grand strategy that need to be implemented as follow. 1, improve competency training program for students to improve the foreign language skill And the second one, improve competency training program for students so they can apply when undergoing internship program. Based on the description above, the University of Bengkulu program development strategy for creating the superior and competitive student is the turnaround strategy. The name of the SWOT strategy we identified as turnaround strategy, whereas improve competency training program and improve competency training for the student. Discussion: improve competency training program for the student to improve foreign language skill. And this is very related to the international networking that the RENPER is underlined, that this is a very good chance for a student to collaborate and to either student or lecturer to collaborate and learn the international language and share the experience. And to conclude that the this both strategy, I think, is one of the responsibility from the university, that we don't want to have a graduate that then it's difficult to find a job or create a job, and then because this graduate later be the head of the family and then have to undergo the adding the number of the poverty. So we should have the need to let the student have the good experience and have a good chance to go the networking. And I think I really would like to have this RENPER networking be the one which can be give the experience for all of the students and lecture. Thank you very much. My point here is to take a look of the poverty and the RENPER networking, and look into the university and what we can do to help the student to get collaboration, networking, improve the skill, and then join the work market and be successful to help eradicate the poverty. Thank you very much. I return to the moderator, I guess.
we conclude today's event, I would like to invite all our guests, participants, speakers to gather in front. So kindly, can I ask those at the back to come to the front for a group photo session? So can everyone please stand up? And for those at the back, can you please come to the front so that we can take a group photo? Yes. Is it the other way around? But Bu Retno. Yeah. So perhaps can everyone gather at the front so that we can take picture together with Dr. Retno? Thank you. It's okay. It's okay. Please smile for the camera, everyone. It's okay. All right, so that concludes our photo session. I would like to announce that refreshments are provided outside of the auditorium, so please help yourself. And for our VIP guests, high tea will be served at the Chancellery's building. So I kindly request our committee members to usher our guests to the Chancellery building. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall I leave right now?
Dr. Retno, thank you very
All
much
right.
for joining us
Thank
today.
you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you. It's great meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.